Ahoy listeners, welcome to the Yonko Podcast with me, Alex John, and our crew, Burke and Brock. Chapter 1023 returns us to the struggles on the wings of the future Pirate King and the all-stars of Kaido's crew. Can they truly overwhelm the top dogs of the Beast Pirates? The Minks have transformed yet again. Will Neko and Inu have the power to defeat those foes once and for all? History lesson with Marco. What is this god's place on the Red Line? And more importantly, what happened to them? King may say, we will see. All that and so much more on today's episode of the Yonko Podcast. Chapter Review 1023. Let's jump right in. Let's set sail. One Piece, Chapter 1023. 2 peas in a pod. And a girl with birdies.
Oh.
Cover art.
Well, why don't we talk about the first picture with all those grates on it?
Oh yes, very beautiful color spread. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I mean, look, you got Law looking. I mean, it's all of the Wano costumes. You've got the Vinsmokes up top, Perona. You got the Shichibukai. I believe all of them are there, at least the original ones.
You got Odin.
Odin, ooh, looking fly.
Odin times 2.
2 Odins fighting side by side. Toki above both of them, above even her, the father, Kaido. Big Mom on the bottom. Katakuri. Oh, I miss you, man.
That is Hiyori, I believe. I don't think that's Toki.
Is that Hiyori?
I think it's Hiyori.
I think it's, well,
It could be either.
I think
Hiyori's the only one that dressed like that. Toki never dressed like that.
I thought, didn't she have the fan, though, on the ship?
She had the fan, but she never dressed like that. Hiyori dressed like that. She has the hairdress.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. She's like a daughter. There's a mother. Hey, but look at Katakuri over here. Is it just me, or does it look like he has the Quake fruit?
Katakuri?
Yeah, look at his hand, bro. That is literally the Quake bubble. At least in my opinion.
I was gonna say it is.
Yeah, right?
How interesting.
I know!
I'm reading the official release, so I don't see the color spread on this one, unfortunately.
It's very pretty. It's very cool. Bartolomeo's over there, too, his bubble.
Right there.
Corazone's back.
Who's the woman? Is that?
Which woman?
The one next to Bartolomeo.
Isn't that Pudding?
That is Pudding, isn't
Yeah,
it?
she's doing the, she's got the memories. Film memory. Yeah, film memory.
Anyway. But yeah, so we got...
The perfect match for Sanji.
For our actual cover art, we have Vivi with some birds.
I miss Vivi.
Vivi!
We all miss Vivi. I hope she's okay.
Who knows what's going on with Vivi, bro?
You probably think she's dead.
Her dad's probably dead, if I had to guess.
I mean, someone definitely died.
Somebody's dead.
Someone's definitely
Somewhere
dead.
in that world, they're dead.
Yeah.
Someone's dead.
Someone's dead. Someone died at some point in One
Oda
Piece.
hates killing characters, but man, somebody's dead.
Those birds are dead.
Karu's gonna kill Vivi because super jealous. Super jealous.
Wow, jealous. Oh, okay.
Jealous birdie. All right, with that, let's get into this freaking chapter.
Dude.
My guys.
I swear to God, is this like the longest chapter we've had in a
I
while?
think it is. I think there was like, at least in my breakdown, like 20 something.
Through it just to get a feel for everything I might have forgotten since I last read it. And
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like, this is so long. I love that it's long.
It's so long. It's super detailed, and it's just so epic.
Yeah. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, so we do.
So.
Standing shoulder to shoulder. Zoro is back in action. Shing! Go get him, Sangoro-san! Just our 2 wings looking on. The absolute destruction of what they just did to King and Queen. Chopper! It really did heal him! I'm afraid to think about what will happen after, though. King! Queen! It's amazing to me that some of those people are still, like worried about those terrible people that was literally just burning their faces moments ago because they were calling them scum.
I also just love that no matter what happened to him, King just always has that expression in his eyes. He's just like, man...
Hey, that's the benefit of him being in the gimp suit, you know?
Well, I know, but his eyes just never change.
The British Army, when we fought them in the Revolution, would have done well with gimp suits, I think.
King is an eternal... God, this sucks face. Like, he seems so done with everything that ever happens.
It sucks to be King.
And then Queen's just over here, just... Is that lipstick?
Yeah.
He wears lipstick.
I love it.
You know he wears lipstick.
It's so prevalent. All right.
Then we get a sniper over here.
How dare you attack the All-Stars!
And Kawamatsu just immediately is just like, no, stay, get out of this.
Drop it, you know. And then the person, oh! You know, is the sniper aiming for Zoro's good or bad eye?
It looks like his good eye.
It looks like his good eye.
What a bastard.
Pretty sure it was his
The man
left
only
eye.
has one eye.
His right eye.
That's all he needs.
And then we got
Boss Hyogo.
Boss Hyogo, yes. Nicely done, Kawamatsu. Everyone, listen up. We can't let anybody interfere with their duel. But boss, we're up against the All-Stars. It doesn't matter if you're friend or foe. There's no place for meddling in that fight. Very true. You will literally die if you get involved with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just look at the expressions on their faces. We would only get in their way. Oh, yeah. Sick.
And then we get some more of your...
Marco!
boy.
I thought only Marie Joie was above the red line. ... Oh, and this is
a
Whitebeard flashback. I'm talking about the distant past. Back then, God's land was up there. This is a very interesting history lesson we're getting with this. I'm not sure where it's headed, but it's interesting.
Just so I can say, obviously you will be putting the...
Yes.
So I'm reading the official release. It is Sunday morning. In the translation for this, I'm talking long before that. From what I hear, there used to be a land of gods up there.
And then, when did you start believing in such craps, Pops? Wake up, Marco! Izo grabs him as all these bullets start firing, and it seems like Marco can't really move too well at the moment.
He was holding off a lot of stuff.
No, he was.
There.
I think that limit comment is actually catching up to him.
I also feel like Marco... I'll give you this. He's been interesting to me the last couple of chapters.
Say more. I'm curious.
Well, no.
Like, just interesting, or?
Well, in just, like, he seems like he's just so... Like, obviously, I feel like it started back at Marineford. I feel like it started back when he saw what Luffy was doing on that battlefield.
Sure.
And now, here we are 2 years later. We're fighting a Yonko crew. 2 Yonko crew, essentially.
Yep.
And he's just... For being such a powerhouse of the old era, by all means, I wouldn't say Marco himself is old, but obviously he's a remnant of an old era pirate crew. Yeah. And it's the same feeling you get with Rayleigh, where he's just looking on at Luffy as they take off from Sabadi the second time.
There's this trust in the new generation.
Yeah.
That you're supporting. You could do so much more, but you're supporting and letting them lead the era. And
obviously, like, he's thinking about this thing about
the red
King,
line,
obviously.
and the race that was up there. What Pops was saying specifically.
But in all, it just seems like he's almost like in awe of the new generation right now, what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So,
Izu, what's with you? How can you space out on a battlefield? Well, I knew you'd be back. You'd have my back. Oh, shut up. Say, Izu, do you believe in God? And I don't know if the official translation is...
It actually is basically kind of the same thing. Izo, do you believe in gods?
Gods. Okay. I think that's... Okay, let's...
And I love Izo's reaction in the official is, when did you turn into Pops when he's drunk?
Yeah, I know. It's same thing with the scats. Yeah. Then we get a super cool... Quaid's back up. King's back up. Yo, if you want to take us down, you're going to have to put your backs into it. And that didn't even hurt a bit. I think that's a lie, but...
I'm not sure.
The drought, the plague, and the wildfire. The 3 of us are Kaido's sons' calamities. And then King just doesn't say anything. As usual. As per King.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, oh, stop. Fuck, I hate my moniker.
I hate everything. Our unstoppable toughness is why they call us All-Stars. And then releases some blasts, which I'm curious what the anime adaptation is going to do, because I don't know if these are going to be very similar to Kizaru's blasts, or if these are going to be their own kind of laser blasts.
I think they're going to be their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read this next section.
And make sure to update me if there's better translations.
I want to tell you what is said in the official, just in case it's
So
off.
the scans, Zoro, what's wrong? Sanji, nothing. It's just since my second time using the raid suit, I've been feeling kinda off. You're not gonna slow me down, are you? I said it's nothing. My body just feels a little odd.
So with that one, I didn't say it felt bad. The way he said... in the scans, the unofficial scans, it made it seem like he was like trying to put it off. Like it is something that could be worse, but he's saying I didn't say it felt bad, just weird. So we'll get to what I think that means for official stuff.
Then King's pulling out his sword, fire, still his
and
dot.
They're still taunting each other.
Well, you do have weird eyebrows. My body, not my face, doofus.
I love this. I didn't say it felt bad, just weird. What? Your eyebrow? My body, you idiot.
Yeah. Big old swords is Zoro's 2 swords. You owe me one as he protects Sanji there.
Bridal claw.
Queen comes out with this burning claw. I imagine it's also a spinning type deal. Zoro, he doesn't have time to defend against it. Sanji comes in clutch. Now we're even, blocks it from him. Very much working in tandem, which is great to see.
Great to see.
Muhahaha. I remember now. All of Judge's brats are enhanced. Germa 66 in the background. That bastard's crazy. That burning leg of yours is some kind of augmentation, right? You know, even when we were like dealing with Germa in Whole Cake, I don't think we ever really got into the specifics of what was going on with their actual bodies. Obviously, they have the raid suits and they can do things. But I never got the impression that any of his other brothers were able to do those special kicks of theirs outside of their raid suits. Right.
Obviously, we didn't see them outside of their raid suits.
So it's just it's interesting to me that maybe they can't outside of the raid suits and Sanji can. That's the difference.
Well, I think we can look at a pretty a nearby panel for what could possibly be the answer to that too.
Yeah, we're going. We keep going. There's going to be a lot of discussion after this one. This one's got
there's a lot packed
stuff.
Hate to break it to you, but I'm a regular human, unlike my siblings. Very important point there. Are you stupid? What kind of human can burst into flame? It's not like you're a Lunarian.
So he might be a different race.
And of course,
Lunarian? I imagine that's the red line race that we're talking about.
Well, I mean,
there.
obviously, because then frickin' King
Dot.
actually doesn't stare ahead. He actually gives, Queen the side eye. Like, don't talk about my race like you know me. You don't know me.
Just looks. He just gives him looks.
Yeah.
It's possible because of my passion that burns hotter than any real flame ever could. Okay, Sanji, I'll go up.
Yeah,
bro.
whatever. Go off, King.
Cooking up sea beasts is my specialty, you dino bastard. And then he does this amazing fiery spin wheel. Reminds me of Flame Spin.
It reminds me of the flaming pug wheel that Maria.
A little bit too. Yeah, I didn't really want to make that connection, but fair enough.
You know what?
Just in recent chapters.
Sanji, when his shadow got taken by Big Echo Moria, was put into a pug body. No, it was a penguin pug.
It was a penguin.
It was a penguin pug.
Penguin pug.
It's all full circle.
Oh my gosh! Thriller Bark. I would have dropped it there, and now it's. I'll show you how devastating my cybernetic enhancements can be. They're so advanced, even Vegapunk can't match them. Is that the same in the official?
Let me show you the power of a cyborg. Even Vegapunk can't create, kid.
Okay, Queen, I think, is speaking out of turn here. Bro, you don't compare yourself to Vegapunk. Last person who did was Caesar, and we saw what an absolute failure of an individual he was. So...
But his friend Gangster Gastino.
Gastino is incredibly intelligent.
Top tier,
He
S tier.
could rival that of Vegapunk.
Pirate King level, my bro. Anyway,
so I always have a problem when characters mention Vegapunk in a condescending way. Like, do you know who you are? Do
This
you know
is
who
like
he
the
is?
government's top scientist.
Well, you got to realize people do the same thing to Roger.
Oh,
like Golden Lion
Yeah.
Shiki. Golden Lion Shiki considered himself to be Roger's equal.
He was quite a legend.
Luffy beat the only reason he was
I was
legend.
gonna say Shiki got beat.
I know,
He got beat by 3 times skip Luffy.
He got beat by movie Luffy, right?
3 times skip Luffy, but he's still canon.
Movie Luffy's stronger than normal.
Not really.
Well, movie Luffy's stronger than canon Luffy because, more powerful character arc type things. Come on, Shiki had to have
I
been
don't know where I
powerhouse.
stand. Brock is always insistent that the movies are canon in their own way.
Depends on the movie.
Shiki, I think, is canon.
Yeah, Shiki. Well, Shiki, the character, is absolutely canon.
But the movie and all that, I don't know.
I don't know if... I think his main thing he had going for him was military might. I don't think he would have beaten... I don't think he came close to Roger in one-on-one strength.
He was a
No.
kind of character.
I wouldn't put Shiki close to Roger, but I would say Shiki was something of a legend.
He's a legend.
To break out.
He was a legend for sure, but I'm just saying.
You don't just break out of Impel Down. As Luffy
he's the same type of guy to talk shit about Roger.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with Caesar talking shit about.
Or Queen talking about Vega.
No, I think Queen's at least better than Caesar.
Oh. Okay, sure. I really...
It's
hard to compare science.
Queen, to me, is at least more competent than Caesar.
I think they just have different areas of study. I mean, he seems to be more cybernetic enhancements, right? And then
I just
Caesar's
feel,
like
I just feel like he's better.
Caesar is good at what he does, but he's never trying to do. He's always trying to whatever Vegapunk asks him to do. He's like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this, and that was what he was good at. I don't know. I feel like Queen is kind of impressed. I don't know what he's augmented a Zoan's body, which I guess is pretty cool.
I mean, it's the first one we've really seen.
Yeah. So
and
I guess
he
he's
on himself. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he's impressive. I don't think he's Vegapunk level.
Well, no.
Well, especially considering we haven't even seen Vegapunk at this point. Like, actually.
Yeah. Come on. Can we?
I feel like the reveal of Vegapunk's going to be so much
When
bigger
did we
than...
first mention Vegapunk? This had to have been pre-time.
I honestly feel like it might have been Alabasta.
I feel like it was an offhand comment. About the dog and the dog.
That's literally what I'm thinking. I feel like that dog.
Yeah.
Was like a Vegapunk.
He was the beginning of everything.
Maybe that's why he's comparing himself to Vegapunk, because Vegapunk can put Zoans and Zoan fruits and inanimates together. He has put a Zoan and objects.
Cybernetics enhancements.
It's pretty interesting.
Who knows?
Anyway, don't get distracted, you black mummy. Zoro come at them with the fire comments.
It would have been hilarious if he was like, so what's your safe word?
That sword is very interesting, Zoro notices as he puts both of his swords on his.
He doesn't mean to put both of his swords in the little,
the little divots, and then whooshing, he throws them to the side. King
you got to realize those divots weren't there at first.
Uh,
he clicked it and they appeared. And
did
they
he
flipped
click
in.
it? Oh.
It was a click there, the first one.
So there's some smartness going on with
it. He's a trickster brawler type deal.
Yeah, that blade. And then he punches Zoro in the face.
Or at least he attempts to.
Which is blocked by his sword, which he carries in his mouth.
Yes.
Haha, next level. I get it.
You all thought Zoro was crazy for having in his mouth. This is the exact situation. Try and punch me in the face. I'm gonna slash your hand off, bitch.
Yeah, dude. I get it. You're just a bloodthirsty brute. I never understood why anyone would stick to traditional forms and techniques in a real battle. And we finally get some dialogue from King.
I actually like the translation of this a little bit better.
Yeah, go off.
So he's blocking the fist. I see a killer machine, huh? He's like, do you need a schooler style in order to fight?
Yeah, I think I like this
and yeah, that's fine.
Whatever.
Like, I get it. I just like
it feels more clear to me on the scans.
Yeah.
I guess you have a point. You never claimed to be a swordsman after all. Which is good.
Which is like literally what we were always talking about. We were like, King
use
has a sword, but is he a swordsman?
But what does he do with it?
And that's why we always assumed he was a Zoro fight. Still is, but not a swordsman, not really.
But it's an interesting Zoro fight.
It is. Have it your way.
Are we going to see the return of No Sword Style from Movie Gold?
That was cool.
Again,
that was a super cool.
We need to get rid of all of his swords for that. He gets his swords back somehow.
Well, he caught him as he fell.
Okay. Have it your way. Just remember, when it comes down to it, I might be willing to bite through your throat too. I can't afford to lose here. And King goes back to being quiet.
As usual.
Boss Yagoro! When Hiyori-sama offered that man Enma, there was a reason I didn't protest too hard. Let me get a little bit of backstory on this whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This blew up the community, and it's gonna blow up our podcast a little bit, hopefully. Right. I see it too. It's peculiar. He may be a foreign pirate, and remind me if any of this is different with official. But he reminds me so much of the former daimyo of Ringo when he was young. He and
Shimotsuki
Ushimaru
yes.
are like two peas in a pod. Two peas in the pod. Chapter title. Right.
Or if you're going off of the official release, the chapter title is Spitting Image. Strangely enough, he is the spitting image of Shimotsuki Ushimaru Daimyo of Ringo in his youth.
Right down to their sword handling, it's uncanny. So I guess Ushimaru was a 3-sword style user then? Is that what he's saying?
Well, I think it might be just in the way he moves type thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
I think 3-sword style...
It would have been that...
I think 3-sword style is Zoro's original style.
Yeah.
So, Ushimaru-sama was a fantastic swordsman, a direct descendant of the god of the blade, Shimotsuki Ryuma. Ooh.
The Dragon Slayer.
Mm-hmm. And this young man was the one to finally return Shusui to Wano. It must be fate or something.
And I cannot help but feel that fate is at work in the official.
After all, Ryuma, beautiful colored panel, or not colored panel, but beautiful panel with
spread
King and
there.
with King and Zoro there, was a one-eyed samurai. We're drawing some serious parallels, people.
All I can say is that if Zoro really did fight his ancestor back on Thriller Bark, that would be one of the coolest turns of fate in this entire series.
I mean,
far.
look, Roa Noah. We've never seen anyone else with that last name.
Let's finish the chapter because there is going to be plenty of things we can discuss about that because we could go off for that for like 20 minutes alone.
Second floor, treasure repository. We've got to back up Jack's son. We've got to back up Jack's son. We're not going to let that happen. Barrage! I think that's what it says.
Barrage. Barrage or something.
Barrage! You must be getting tired. I'll put you to sleep forever, Duke of the Day. I love that title. There's no need to draw this out. I've already forgiven you for lying to me about the samurai. Your country's already paid the price for sheltering him. And then he's tired. We wouldn't have been able to live with ourselves if we sold Raizo out. It would have made it impossible for us to come back to Wano.
As he grabs
his trunk.
Jack by the trunk.
Everything we went through breaks him through the wall. Since the day Oden-sama left us was to get to this point.
Jack, and I friggin' love just
flashback.
I love Inu's strength in this moment as he just chucks Jack through a fucking wall.
It's a nice callback because he did the exact same thing when he first met Jack.
You could say that Inurushi-sama is jacked.
Anyway,
Jack's getting jacked up.
We get a quick flashback.
I swear to God, I don't know this Raizo. If he's here, I'll slice open my own stomach. And then he loses his leg at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Since that day 20 years ago, we've tormented ourselves with the same questions. Are things different now as he's transforming into his Sulong
So for
form?
this one, official is, for 20 years I asked myself, are you still a samurai of Lord Odin?
Do we still have the right to claim to be Odin's samurai? How are you in your Sulong form? A hole in the roof?
And I love
that. We endured a lot to reach this decisive battle. Our millennia-old city was razed to the ground, but the dawn of the world is finally upon us. We don't care if we have to lay down our lives to usher it in.
I actually do like the scans on that better.
Dude, Inuyarashi is a beast.
Literally.
He's a literal beast.
Literally, metaphorically,
I cannot wait for those guys to transform in the anime.
No, it'll be amazing.
It's gonna be so good.
Cannot wait.
No, I mean, if the recent episodes have been anything to go by, just the entire Wano arc will be beautifully done.
And now we parallel to the front entrance of the Skull Dome. Without Pedro, Luffy, and the others wouldn't have made it here. Perros. The raid would have failed for sure.
That's Carrot in the background being like, Perospero.
Oh, you're right. Perospero, excuse me. Master Nekomamushi! And this full moon is beautiful tonight. Pedro, just pour yourself a drink and watch your Sulong form. This is the last moon gara you will ever see. Big tongue. Oh, and we've got Nekomamushi in full Sulong too. God.
That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
They're so cool. I love the Dukes of the Day and the Night underneath the full moon. All right. Inside the castle, second floor. Ha ha ha! You ghosts are a joke. Odin is dead, and now you serve a glorified child.
I never would have imagined Fukuro Koju laughing like that.
How dare you mock?
Thanks for making his laugh sound like that.
I haven't seen Wano. I haven't watched Wano. I don't know what he sounds like. Do you know what does he sound like?
I don't know.
It sounds like you think someone just like an old man would. It's like, not that kind of old man, like the manly old man. Yeah, better.
All right. How dare you mock the young master, says Raizo. Everyone needs time to mature. Interesting parallel, that line. Even us misfits eventually became samurai. Wano itself will shape Momonosuke-sama's growth. We won't let you take that away. Hope away. Udon Tokage Port. What? Why is he here? Why is Kaido here? Do we even stand a chance? Go, Law's crew, go.
And then a beautiful.
Now this
Beautiful.
spread.
Freaking panel.
This spread, the color art as well. Straw Hat, get back! It's dangerous, Luffy. No words. Growl. I am not your snack. If you attempt to eat me, I will devour you whole. Brace yourself. Momo. What? That kid was just here. How in the world? I followed Momonosuke-sama's orders. I aged him till he was 28 years old. Didn't know you could do that. Why are you crying though? Because Momonosuke-sama, you just look like Momo. Let's go take back Wano. Yeah. Chapter 1023. And no break this week.
Thank God.
Which, seriously, Oda, you can take a break.
I was going to say, after that one, you could take a break.
That's a very happy place to leave it. Damn.
Definitely the counterattack.
I thought he'd be bigger, but I didn't realize he would just look straight up like Kaido.
Yeah.
In that form. And he does.
Which so clearly, the devil fruit, which we already have implied in the past, the one that Momo got was a smile made by Vegapunk, if I recall.
Yes. This was Vegapunk's smile, not Caesar's.
Yeah, exactly. So, if anything, it's perfect in its own way. Mm-hmm. Because now that he is 28, essentially.
He was 20 years, 28.
Yep. He is now the same size as Kaido, or at least close.
I think I'm going to put a parallel in the video of Luffy in front of Kaido's dragon form and Luffy in front of Momo, just to see a comparison.
Yeah. No,
but I think it's very similar.
No, it's going to be very similar.
And he's very long. He's incredibly long.
So, yeah. Which is how it is with those Eastern-style dragons.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was like, Shenron?
Yeah. I like that. Brock and I have already talked about this amongst ourselves, but I just like that implication that now that he's 28 years old, he looks like his father. And that's why Shinobu's crying.
I am interested to see when he comes.
I'm very curious to see what he looks like in his... Because obviously, he's not going to have hair, right? He can't possibly...
Unless Odin's hair?
I wouldn't assume so.
I mean, I'm sure
because he wasn't Odin. He wasn't born to boil.
Nope. He was Momo. He was born to Osuke.
Fuck off.
I don't know.
You make me sad sometimes.
I don't know what is Momo going to do.
So where do we start here? Do we start with Sanji? Do we start with Zoro?
I think
I will.
I want to start with Sanji because let's go in the order that things were mentioned. Okay. So Sanji feels weird. He still isn't in his rain suit.
Yeah.
Still isn't in it.
So, me and Brock were actually talking about this.
Good.
Because they were, they mentioned just the fact that, he's actually able to, do the thing with his fire. And, Ryan's brought this up whenever we've had our theories and, talks about, Oda makes things make sense. And so, I always was just it's just because of the friction and his passion and whatever.
Speed,
and the speed of how he's doing this.
Basically the same thing we said about Red Hawk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But.
Yep.
And now, I'm not so sure about that. And now, I'm thinking that Judge, with his underworld, connections, got, the genetic gene splicing whatever from, King through Kaido maybe at some point. Maybe in the past.
King specifically, or just that race?
Or just that race. If there's any others, I assume that King is the last of his kind. At this point.
Well, that seems to be what Big Mom stated,
with
right?
The gene splicing and the technology that Germa is always fucking around with. What if, for each child, maybe he might have done this. And maybe with Sanji, he spliced in a little bit of this Lunarian DNA that was, lying dormant until Eni's lobby. It just brings implications of, when that awakened in Sanji, if that is the case. And that's just my theory. I'm not saying that this is actual fact.
Well, no, I mean, you can't. We just had a mention of it.
But now that Queen mentions it, it's just like, it's the exact same thing that Ryan is like, people can't just like catch their leg on fire.
It's a really weird thing to say in One Piece that, you know,
Yeah.
a person just can't do this. What do you, this is anime.
Well, no.
But
like,
you know what I mean?
No,
everything else is happening in this
it's
world.
a weird thing because for the longest time we put it off as One Piece logic.
I mean, yeah, anime general, just crazy
Yeah.
stuff happens for no reason.
But now it's like
it's being called out.
It's coming back around and saying, no, actually, you know, you can appreciate this more because this actually makes sense that this character's been able to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
And here's why.
Yeah.
Or here's a possibility as
But
to
also,
why.
like, the fact that they're finally calling out, because, like, Oda never calls out things that
No.
are just natural in the world. It just sometimes it takes them a long time in this case, but I think the fact that it was called out and mentioned along with the boldface term Lunarians is a big telltale to possibly about Sanji. My kind of theory.
I was going to say, I didn't actually continue. I'll let him talk about this because it's more his.
I mean, I don't dispute Burke's. It's very likely given Sanji's backstory, but I have just because we just don't know shit all about his mother, I think it's heavily possible that he might be a half-breed Lunarian.
Like his mother might.
I could believe his mother might have been Lunarian, which might have been what attracted someone as scientifically and racially focused as Judge to her in the first place. You know, because like she'd be interested in the fact that they could make flames by themselves out of nothing. You know,
It's very. I'm not going to pose a theory. I'm going to pose a bunch of questions. So, if Sanji is a different race, obviously,
Or he's a half-breed.
whatever he is, are he and his siblings full siblings? It's weird to me because you have his 3 other brothers and sister, who seemingly, as far as we know, all came from the same mother, right? Mm-hmm. It'd be weird to have 2. And remind me, Reiju's the oldest, right?
I'm pretty sure.
So it'd be weird to have 3, do something different for the 3rd, and then have a 4th, right?
So that's why I lean more towards it's not about the mother, it's about the augmentations.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying I think Judge individually augmented each of them, and the thing that he tried to augment Sanji with was Lunarian DNA or Lunarian gene splicing.
Germa has their cloning facility.
Yes.
Were the siblings grown, or were they naturally given birth to?
That's the other thing.
so
Did we actually get confirmation of that?
I mean, they had a mother and a father. Right?
I do believe that they were probably given birth to, is my opinion.
I mean, mother, right?
I that's the feeling I got in the interactions. But also concerning the fact that it just kind of goes back to my theory, given the fact that Sanji's the only one that can do that stuff outside of his raid suit, it might not be so much that his siblings can't, it's just that they've spent their entire lives in those suits, and he's learned to use those powers without it.
I'm going through Whole Cake again right now, so I'm going to watch the Germa real closely to see if they ever do. Because I know there are a couple scenes where they beat the crap out of Sanji as an adult because he can't do anything and fight back.
Yeah.
I don't remember them ever using their abilities when they were outside of their suits, because when they walk around their facility, they aren't wearing their suits.
Yeah.
They show them around, they beat the crap out of them. But he's the only one that when he was fighting Judge, his foot was on fire, and Judge was like, huh? And he was weirded out by that. Because it's like all the other ones have powerful attacks in their legs and suits when they're wearing their suits.
Well, honestly, then, if that's the case, that only lends itself more to the fact that it's not a natural ability, then.
Right.
Because if both Judge and Queen, both highly scientific minds who have seen a lot in their lives, I'm assuming, are questioning what?
Yeah.
And who've no doubt experimented on humans after humans, waves of them. That definitely, I think, lends credence to the fact that Sanji isn't just like a normal human. at the very least.
And he was different from all of his siblings in that he was incredibly weaker as a kid. He didn't have the abilities that were built into the other ones. Like they all had stronger bodies, faster bodies. They were more tough. He did not. He was like the weakest of the bunch. Maybe that's because something happened with maybe his DNA that meant that as a child he wasn't going to be stronger, but he could grow far stronger than them in the long run. There's just a lot of questions about Sanji that I now have that I just have never had before, all because of a couple panels, Oda.
The only thing I do...
I'm questioning my boy.
The only thing that
I mean, not in a bad way.
No, I am curious. But I never questioned his fire feat ability.
I am interested in hearing finding out just what effect the raid suit's having on him. And maybe if that has some kind of effect on his actual blood.
I wonder maybe if it makes him weaker.
The raid suit?
Because all of the raid suits make his siblings stronger. So I'm thinking maybe it might be inverse with him.
In the official translation, it made it very clear that it's not a bad feeling he's feeling.
It's
just a different, weird feeling.
Right, but I don't know if that's ultimately good or ultimately bad.
To me, it feels like it's probably going to be more of like an adaptation.
Well, like he just said,
he's developing.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it's a bad thing. Whatever it is, I think it's probably enhancing him more, and he's just feeling weird about it because obviously he's gone his whole life without the raid suit.
And it comes.
He's only worn it twice.
And he's stronger than all of his siblings when they're out of their raid suits. The reason he couldn't fight them was because of all the shit that
and also
his owner Zeph and others. Yeah. I fully outside of raid suits, I put Sanji above all of his siblings. In raid suits, before he had his own, I would still put them on sort of an equal playing field because he just naturally was strong and had to do a lot of shit in the Grand Line and New World before he got to them.
I think
whereas they go on to like plebeian islands and beat up people with guns. Like they don't need their overall. They are very strong, but they don't need their overall strength to compete. Where he's had to put his life on the line multiple times.
And I think we can also take into account the fact that the raid suits were made specifically for these people, which means they probably have a specific like genetic or like some kind of like affection for them that'll like enhance them or change them in some way that'll make them, because like that was the whole point of Judge, was he wanted to make super warriors who are like perfect.
Yes.
And so I think that's
emotionless, robotic.
Well, yeah, but I mean that already failed with Sanji. We're past that, I think.
I think that's another point that makes him different though than his siblings.
Well, I mean that was made clear in this flashback.
No, I know. But I'm just pointing out more things that differentiate Sanji from his siblings.
No, he's completely... That was already
like, he just isn't... Reiju is kind of like him, but the rest are not.
But I'm thinking that, like, whatever it is, it's meant to enhance him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a negative thing.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Because
I'm interested to see.
At this point, there's literally no point for it to be.
I mean, he just hasn't used it in this fight yet, and I don't know if he... I mean, I'd like to think that he'll use it.
I think he'll use it.
But as of currently, he doesn't really seem to need it. He's been blocking attacks and taking on.
I think he's going to need it. I think he will need it based on the fact that, because I actually do...
If Queen augments himself to a new level, I think maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I actually believe Queen when they get back up and say that barely hurt either of us. I actually believe
I do believe that, and here's why I believe that personally. Sorry to interrupt you, Burke.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason I believe that is because the entire arc, the Dino guys have been literally asserting we are tough skinned.
Yeah.
That is their thing. And I don't think I think he's legit like taking minor scrapes from this right now. I don't think Sanji's been really hurting him. I think Sanji's been hitting him with enough force to send him flying.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between hitting him with the force and actually doing the damage.
Now, I could be wrong if we go in a couple chapters and changes, but it seems like when Sanji isn't fighting both of them at the same time, which is when he got knocked down, it does seem that he and Zoro are on something of a similar level.
So don't get me wrong. When he was fighting him by himself, he was faster and he was able to get the hits in. Yeah. He wasn't able to keep up with him.
He was knocked down because.
But I don't think I think it's the same problem that he'd have with Kaido in that he's not able to hit him hard enough right now. Because I don't think he'd be able to do the damage to Kaido like say Zoro would.
Well, and that one attack was a surprise. Those two attacking King and Queen like that. Yeah. Right. They came out of nowhere. And now it's
when it's two Yonko commanders, he's not going to be able to keep up.
Right.
But like that's what I'm saying is like it's like you all say, he's the speed and the observation hockey guy, which also probably means that he's probably a lighter attacker, which is not good against heavy, thick-skinned opponents, which is probably why he'll need his raid suit. It's a stats thing, sort of.
We'll see. I will see.
That's what I get at.
I just feel like Zoro and Sanji are very much kind of fighting on a very similar level right now, and I don't know if those like differences that we generally like to align them with are going to hold out. We'll see. Next few chapters, I definitely think so. But yeah, no, very interesting. Let's get into Zoro. Let's get into his history that's being brought up here.
This one, I also saw a nice Reddit theory after this chapter came out, and I discussed it with Brock a little bit, is that obviously you have this period of time, 20 years ago is when Odin died, right? We can all agree on that?
Yeah.
So
if he's even dead. No, I'm kidding.
You think everyone's dead?
That was Ryan's thing, I'm sorry.
That's true.
Conjuro fucked me up.
Right. Conjuro fucked a lot of us that chapter. I still can't believe that was like 10 chapters ago. Or like 15 chapters ago.
Crazy moments in Wano.
It was just like, what the hell? We've gone through such a roller coaster since we started this podcast, guys. I was going back to like our first Yonko podcast, and I'm like, oh my god, all this shit's happened. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we have this period of time where obviously Odin's off fucking around the world with Roger and Whitebeard, and he's having a good time, whatever. The whole time he's gone, though, obviously Orochi's here, Kaido's coming in, they're selling people off, there's people just like trying to get out of Wano, and then you have, so Zoro is currently 21?
I think at this point he's 22 or 23.
He started the story at 19, 2 year time skip, at least.
Yeah, because Luffy was 17.
He was 19, so Sanji was like 20. Okay.
So, yeah.
He's 21.
Yeah, he's 21 currently. 21 years ago puts his birth, like, right before Odin's death, in those years where Odin's dancing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the theory that I read on Reddit was about how, during that time that the dancing was happening, you might have had some refugees running from Wano illegally. Obviously, you're not allowed to leave the country under those circumstances unless you're sold into slavery by Kaido, which that was the whole point of the dancing in the streets, to keep those people from that.
Real quick, Zoro
Go ahead.
Sanji are both 21.
Cool.
Okay.
Totally fine. Love fact checks in the middle of things. So the theory posits that maybe Zoro's mother, and who must have been some relative of Shimotsuki, escaped, and this is a canon thing that people talk about. So there's the carpenter that Frankie was working under, who is the brother of the carpenter back in Fuchsia Village.
Wait.
There's a carpenter in Fuchsia Village, back where Makino's bar is.
Yep.
That I believe canonically is supposed to be the brother of the carpenter that Frankie was working under while they were in disguise in Wano.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I thought of Tom for some reason. Sorry.
No, I understand the confusion. Sorry. With that being said, so Zoro's mother, Shimotsuki, and this carpenter are some of the people who get away. We have established that the dojo that Zoro was raised at was near Fuchsia, somewhere. Maybe not necessarily in Goa Kingdom, but near Fuchsia, somewhere. Maybe he was born Shimotsuki Zoro.
Right.
And his mother pulled, or somebody close to him, pulled a Portgas de Rouge or whatever, and instead of him being, Shimotsuki Zoro, he was now Roanoa Zoro.
Right.
And so he was raised by Shimotsuki. I can't remember his master's name.
Right.
Which he must have also been a relative of the Shimotsuki Daimo. So by a proxy, he's Zoro's uncle.
Right.
Kuina is this guy's daughter. And so during this time, maybe Orochi sent out assassins to kill anybody who had left Wano, tried to escape Wano. And actually, at that time would make sense, because at that point, Odin's dead. Odin would be dead because Zoro was how old when Kuina died? Probably like 8.
Really? He was like small 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but still,
kid.
Years after Odin's dead by the timeline, Zoro's 21 now.
Yeah.
Kuina, Shimotsuki Kuina, would be using her real name since he was Shimotsuki whatever.
Are you saying she didn't fall downstairs?
I believe she was pushed.
Oh.
At least that's the theory that was posited. So maybe this could almost become a...
It has always been a very weird fact that Zoro's childhood friend that he could not beat in sword fighting, supposedly...
died on stairs.
Yeah. Characters that die have crazy deaths.
This could almost become a revenge thing for Zoro if the right facts are all of a sudden brought to light.
That makes sense.
But they would have left his uncle alone for some reason. Maybe he defeated the assassin.
Because Kuina's the next generation. She might come back, like maybe through, because at that point he's an old man. He's just teaching.
Well,
people.
And also we haven't seen him fight. He could probably have fought off the assassins, maybe.
Yeah. So why go after
he's obviously a master of his own domain.
That would have eliminated the assassin question of who's the assassin he wanted to get revenge on.
Exactly. Because also, why go after the guy who's, getting old and, he's going to die at some point himself? Why not just kill the next generation so that if he tries to pass on the will, she doesn't come trying to...
Ultimately, it would all come down to Zoro and Orochi. If that's all true, Orochi asked for the death of Kuina.
No, for sure.
And there were a lot of theories that Zoro was going to kill Orochi at the end of Wano. And if that all comes to light...
I bet that could, because here's the other thing. If he is a Shimotsuki, he is a rightful heir to Ringo. Ringo was what Shimotsuki Ushimaru was the daimyo of.
Is there a current one there?
No.
He was killed, wasn't he?
He was killed.
Wasn't he killed during Oden's...
Yukimaru or whatever, the fox
spirit
was his thing. And he was killed, and that's why Yukimaru was... getting sorry if I'm saying the wrong name. The fox that can turn into a human. Everybody knows who I'm speaking of if I say that.
Yeah.
That's why he was gathering all the weapons for his former master to help, bring about revolution when the time was right.
Yeah.
But so if Zoro is a Shimotsuki, which I am now very heavily of the opinion that he is, because the other thing is, so when they talk about how Ryuma was a one-eyed swordsman. When you look at the corpse, when you go back to Thriller Bark, the corpse looks eerily similar. Just like you can imagine that thing in its prime had green hair with, the scar over its face, all that stuff. And so at this point, I believe Zoro fought an ancestor of his. Clearly, they're kind of really heavily implying
that would really be a wild...
super cool.
That would be a wild full circle.
Three things I think
which Oda is absolutely capable of doing.
Good at wild full circles.
Three things we talked about, too, that it was kind of like side nerd stuff. Was like, well, for one, that would mean he has a birthright to Shusui, which means he would get Shusui back.
Well, if he needs it. I mean, he already has 3...
I mean, he might replace. I don't know.
Like
it all depends. It all depends.
Enma back to.
No, I mean he'll probably keep Enma. He might replace the other one that's not Kuina's
demon sword.
Oh, you're right. I don't know. There's a lot of swords.
It's always hard.
There's so many great swords. But anyway.
All of a sudden, Zoro grows a 30.
he becomes the real.
I mean, he grows. A bunch of those.
He becomes the real Ashura. But anyway, and then
quick question, Burke. Did the Shimotskis, I'm sure have we seen them at all, like flashbacks in Wano yet? Or did they have green hair?
I don't feel like
we haven't seen them yet.
We've heard about them, how they were killed.
But you also just saw that silhouette, not even silhouette. It showed his face. That guy looked exactly.
I'm sure. Zoro. I wouldn't be surprised if when the anime shows it, he'll have green hair.
If they have green hair, then it's a dead ringer.
Yeah, it's a dead ringer.
But maybe the anime doesn't want to do that and throws us off with a different colored hair.
I mean, they're not afraid of doing that if that's the case. But
I mean, this would be something you'd want to reveal when it needs to be revealed, not before.
But I don't even think he necessarily needs the hair. Because obviously,
I know.
You know that Sanji's siblings are related to him, even though they all have different colored hair.
And as eyebrows,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, except for Sanji's eyebrows. Another thing with Sanji, they're the opposite way to all of his siblings. Anyway, I think this is...
Because his curl upward, theirs curl downward.
Theirs look like 6s, and they point towards the left.
Yes.
His are upside down and the other way.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Which is what...
So, no, all of that to say, though, at this point, I think it's heavily implied that Zoro is a descendant from Wano, and by all means could be an actual daimyo.
I'm here for that. I'm 100%
totally
here for that. I don't think he would accept that position.
I don't think he would either, personally.
But that'd be kind of cool.
But it would give him a birthright to Shisui, and by all means, he could keep Enma, I'm sure, at this point.
Yeah. I could also see him surrendering Emna back to Momonosuke.
For sure.
Have both of the swords again.
If Momonosuke has a strong enough hockey or whatever to...
28 now, bro. I don't know what he can do.
Who knows? We'll see. So, there's that.
That's wild.
I love...
Tiny tidbit before we continue. Tiny tidbit. Wouldn't it be funny if something happened to King's face and his face got revealed and he had Sanji's eyebrows? And we're like, oh, the Lunarians!
Oh my god.
That's how we know!
Oh my god.
To be clear, we don't know what King
actually
looks like.
And all of a sudden, King like breaks his silent streak and he's just like, did somebody say handsome?
I'm just saying, we never see what King actually looks like. That kind of reveal, I don't know what it would do for us, but I'm pumped for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Okay, what were you saying? Let's continue with our theory trains of everything.
I'm not even saying this is theory at this point.
Oh, no, I think now it's pretty...
I
want to. I can't wait to see how it's revealed.
No, for sure. I am...
That Kawina shit, though, is off the wall, man. If that all comes out to be true,
seriously.
That's a big brain Oda plays.
I can't take credit for that. Obviously, it was a theory I read on Reddit.
Yeah.
I can't even give you the username, but it was compelling. I was just like, oh my gosh, that... Because, why the hell would somebody who was the greatest swordsman at her dojo
die by stairs? Well, wasn't it also implied that it was suicide?
No.
I think it's a thing in Japan where there's like an epitaph of saying they fell down the stairs.
Did you ever feel like it was implied to be suicide before this?
No. Like a Japanese cultural thing is falling down or falling off of something is an implication of suicide. And considering that Kuina wasn't happy with herself and all that shit, like that's... Now this is way better. I way love this whole thing way more. But that was always how I put that to rest was, she was just so scared of the world that was going to, put her in her place.
That's some like Bridge to Terabithia shit,
I'm just saying, that's what that was my leading theory on Kuina before all of this, which I like this way fucking more.
Well, and I can't follow the logic of that being... I understand what you're saying, like that's a Japanese...
Bridge to Terabithia is, great.
It's a good book.
So saddening.
It's very sad.
Sorry.
Hate that book. It's a good book.
The movie.
I can't watch the movie. I won't watch the movie.
It'll get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Sanji Zoro, done for this chapter.
Yeah, done
Crazy
for this chapter.
shit.
Not on theory anymore at this point for me. I really just liked that it's the little things that Oda does that it's just like, of course Inu would frickin' throw Jack into a room that had the goddamn hole in the roof.
Yes.
That's fucking fantastic.
No.
I love that Neko hit Perospero so far. He's outside of the Skull Dome a decent way. Like, really far. It's almost like he just had he's a cat with a toy mouse, and he literally just batted him until he was so far away that now it's like, you have no choice but to deal with me in the moonlight. No. Fuck you.
I think both Perospero and Jack fall.
Perospero for sure.
Absolutely.
If he's not dead and or just...
I mean, you always give Perospero props for being the eldest son, don't you, Brock?
What?
Or do you think he has...
Oh, no, I think he's reasonably skilled because of his position.
Yeah.
I'm just saying...
I don't think he stands a chance against this guy.
No, he's fucked, dude.
I'm not calling him like...
I don't know how much... I don't know how many props you want to give Perospero.
No, I was saying he's a top general.
He's a strategic...
Son of a Yonko.
But also, he's had a lot of battles time at this point.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people have been weakening him.
He's by no means weak, but he's not going to beat...
He's not going to beat Neko at this point.
Not without some really smart plays.
And also, if Carrot's,
Wanda,
Carrot and Wanda are there, they're kind of...
I mean, they're not even transformed.
They're kind of getting back up on their feet. They need to look at the moon, obviously, first.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's definitely done if they both transform.
Well, yeah.
He's definitely done.
Obviously. I don't think they're going to interfere at this point. I think, honestly, Neko's going to handle
Neko's going to get paid.
Yeah. Yep. Jack, I can now see him coming down. I don't think it'll be as easy for him as I think it'll be for Neko in this moment.
No, Jack.
That's just...
Inunurashi has the harder fight, definitely.
Yeah.
But Jack is injured.
Because obviously the main
he's been
thing
through
with
some
him
shit.
being injured earlier was like literally you had Neko and Inu at like full strength at the beginning, like in their Sulong form.
Yeah.
So,
This isn't my prevailing theory, but what does worry me is Inu's line of, we don't care if we have to lay down our lives to usher it in. But that doesn't mean they won't win. I just don't know how well they come out of these fights.
No, for sure.
And that scares me, but I think they totally take it here.
It's stakes at this point.
It's really
it's just understanding, no, we have to win this even if we lay down our lives. Yeah. Because the dawning of the new world is upon us.
Yep. And Nell's uncle and Raizo.
Oh, yeah.
That's still happening.
Ears versus that's a thing.
Scrolls.
I like to think that in the official translation it was because it was like, don't mock Momonosuke.
Yeah, no, of course.
In the official translation it was don't mock youth, which I thought was I thought it was a nod to Guy Sensei from Naruto.
Yeah.
Nice. Youth at full power!
Yeah.
Anyway.
There. And then Momonosuke.
Gosh.
And his absolutely beautiful dragon form.
I'm so hype. I'm so goddamn hype.
Luffy
to come flying in on a full-grown dragon.
Luffy's not fat anymore. He's digested his food.
If Kaido doesn't have an Enaru face,
Kaido's gonna be pissed.
If Kaido doesn't have an Enaru face when he sees Luffy on a fucking dragon, I'm gonna be disappointed just a little bit. Because like,
gonna be pissed.
He's like literally. He's like, you can't be Joy Boy, like when he throws Luffy off the fucking cliff.
Comes back on a literal
a dragon.
Giant ass pink dragon. Like, what's up? Oh man. Yeah.
So no, this fucking.
I wonder if Law's crew goes with them or if they just hang out down there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, there's a thing.
I mean, they were ready to fight a dragon, I guess.
Yeah, and at this point,
how brave.
Soon to be Onigashima over land, so if they fall off, at least they're gonna fall on land.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, look, I don't want to be a dick, but you know, if Luffy's jumping on a dragon, I don't think we're gonna get Onigashima. I think we get. I'm just saying.
Hashtag Onigashima for life.
If Luffy stays down there, Onigashima. If he goes back up, I don't think that's. Anyway, that's epic as hell.
This whole fucking chapter, man.
I don't think Yamato. I think Yamato's on her last legs up there.
Obviously, we don't know. We've only seen two things with that.
But like, I can't imagine I can't imagine Luffy comes up there with a fucking dragon, and Yamato's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing fine. Don't worry about it." Like,
I got this.
You know, it's gonna be a scary. Like, it's gonna be
of course, it's gonna be on down to the wire.
You know?
Everything about this is gonna be kind of
like
fucking wire.
It's gonna be a whole fucking thing. Do you think we go to the rooftop next chapter?
Maybe.
I fucking hope so. I think we at least fly up there. I don't know if we get there. I think we fly up there.
God, that's the thing. Is this chapter gave us so much. I'm like, I don't know where we're going next.
I want to keep up with the King Queen fight, honestly.
I want to keep on that, but I also want to like see.
I mean, we forgot about the Hawk and Killer fight.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot about that whole thing. Big Mom and Law and Kid. What the fuck's up with who's who? CP9? CP's Aegis? What the fuck? Where are you at?
Wasn't it?
Sorry.
No, so I actually, it's so funny. I listened back to our podcast on the.
Oh yeah, I was 100% wrong. Who we were going to look at in this chapter?
Kid and no, not Kid. Hawkins and Killer.
Yeah.
Fight. And it was so funny because apparently I spaced out during that part of the conversation, but I believe it was you talking about how you thought it would be cool if Killer exploits the fact that Kid doesn't have an arm, and that's how he can help undo that while still attacking Hawkins directly.
He'd be attacking Hawkins directly because Kid doesn't have an arm there.
Yeah, so I think that was a good theory on your part, and I totally spaced it during the recording of that session. I was very tired that day.
Brock, anything you want to add here to this epic conclusion with Momo?
No, I'm really excited.
My man's looking to fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to fly.
Yo, Momo doesn't need to do jack, except for when Kaido goes down, he has to keep holding up Onigashima.
Wait a minute.
He doesn't have to do jack, but hold up.
Okay,
that
okay,
island.
never mind. Onigashima's dead to me.
Look, if Momo does nothing else but hold up that island...
If it's implied that Kaido's powers as a dragon are what is lifting Onigashima, Momo should have the same fucking powers.
He should. And he walks on clouds when he goes places. So apply those clouds
Oh
to
my
the fucking thing.
Onigashima's
He's
dead.
giant and big. I don't know.
I want to know Onigashima so much, but it's just like now it's right there. It's right in front of my
Well,
face.
something could happen to Momo and it could start falling again.
Onigashimomo.
He was made to Momo.
I don't know.
No. Anyway, very hype chapter. Very hype chapter.
Gomu Momu no.
Gomu no! Momo!
Oh God.
Very beautiful colored art.
Fantastic chapter.
Especially the very last one with the dragon.
I hope
Very
1024 is just as freaking hype.
I can't imagine I think we're at a climax of chapters where everything's just gonna be bigger and bigger. I literally
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
I can only get so erect though.
Straight to horny jail.
Yeah.
That's on you, Oda. Alright, predictions?
Like I said, at this point,
I personally just want the Sanji and Zoro stuff to continue because maybe we'll find out some truths.
I would like that to continue.
I
think we will cut back to the rooftop, see how Yamato's doing.
Or not doing.
Or not doing.
Over here.
And we might get a shot of Luffy on Momo. Or actually, I don't know. Maybe it'll be kind of like a crocodile moment where like all of a sudden Luffy just like shows up on Momo.
Momo looks majestic as fuck right now.
Hell yeah.
So I would not be surprised if Oda did something to still make him seem like kind of funny. I don't know. He looks majestic this chapter. Next chapter, he's like, all right, fly. He's like, I don't know how. Or some shit like that.
But he does.
No, I know. It's going to be cool. I think it's going to be cool. But I think that would be unexpected is that this great, majestic, powerful, top-tier Momo is still like this kid at heart. Because his body's grown, but his mind isn't. So he's like, okay. So no, my thing, I want more Sanji, Zoro backstory, maybe get some more explanations, maybe raid suit.
Yeah.
I'm not against raid suit, I just feel like for some reason in my head it's like, maybe he doesn't need the raid suit, that's the whole point of this arc. Like, it accomplished its goal with getting Momo out of there when the whole King thing was coming down on like a number of chapters ago. Like, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah. Anything else to add, Brock?
Rocky boy.
I think it's just going to be a bunch of skip between battles, honestly. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth.
Bunch of battles.
We're heading towards the climax very fast now.
Climax of Wano. I do need Kaido to do something to make me hate him again. Because I haven't been with Kaido for a bit, and I don't know. Him as an antagonist has kind of gotten far away in my mind, so I need him to do something really fucked up.
Dude.
So I can be like, that's right, go get him, Luffy!
Him throwing Luffy off and stabbing Kinemon is still enough for me, dude. I'm
being rocked by all the other stories, bro. I'm sorry.
Don't get me wrong, yes.
They can do something fucked.
But trust me, there's so much that is like...
Yamato loses both of her arms. I don't know.
Can we not? I don't want to do that. I really don't want to
Better
do
than
that.
a donut. Alright, let's leave it right there.
Fuck you, I hope Foxy kills Marco.
Fuck you and your shit with Foxy. Alright, we'll see y'all in 10:24. Alright, listeners, that concludes this episode of the Yonko Podcast. Things are truly wrapping up in Wano. Only a few actors do not yet have their fights, but on a whole, things are looking good for the raid. Cannot imagine it will fail at this point. It's always the unexpected with Oda, though, so we shall see. Yo, Momo, am I right? See you all next time on the Yonko Podcast Chapter Review 10:24. No break, still. You have our eternal gratitude, Oda. Alright, boys, we're off.